If you have never joined me for Yin Yoga before, my name is Kumari and I am the relaxationist, and Yin Yoga is one of my practices that I enjoy sharing with the world, along with Yoga Nidra and sound baths. This is my cat Milo over here. He'll probably be hanging out with us for the class. I'm going to assume if you're on this, you read my little note about getting your props. Household items are great as well, like couch pillows or blankets you can roll up or fold. So whatever position is most comfortable for you. I'm just feeling yourself getting settled. Feeling the weight of your lower half of body just sinking down, and perhaps even cultivating a sense of grounding. Showing up on this, for most of us, I think, first day of the year in a really grounded place. And then as you take your next few inhales, imagine energetically lifting up through the spine, through the crown of the head. And this might not actually be a physical feeling. It might just be something energetic. Lifting up, reaching the crown skyward, connecting with the wisdom of the ethers, the wisdom of all that is, which is your true nature. Sensing your physical presence. Let's take a breath together. Inhale and release. Inhale, take in a little more air and release. Breathe in. Pause your breath. Breathe in a little more. Pause. Exhale through the mouth. One more just like that. Inhaling and pause. Inhale a little more and pause. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Let's put our hands at the heart space. Connecting with your physical body in this way. Your hands not separate, but emanating a warmth back into your body. Might you have a wish for yourself? Sort of like an intention. Something positive, and it might be about just this practice, this next hour. It might be for the rest of the day, week, or even the year. It might be one word or a series of words. A cleansing breath now, inhaling. Bringing your palms together, let's create some heat between the palms. If you happen to be wearing glasses, go ahead and take those off right now. And covering the eyes, letting the eyeballs drink in that warmth, that heat. And just a little bit of self-massage, rubbing the hairline, the temples. Maybe stroking under the eyes or across the brow. Jaw. Really just let your fingers explore. I like to go behind my ears, behind my neck a little bit. Nice. If you haven't already, go ahead and open your eyes. Just checking on the mic here. Yay! So to those who have recently joined, welcome. All right, let us begin our practice in child's pose. If you have a bolster, you can use that. Totally fine if you don't. You can definitely... Okay, I gotta fix this microphone situation here, friends. So go ahead and keep getting yourself set up in child's pose. Okay, I think that should stay. I have some students that love to use like a little block ramp. I think that's what I'm gonna do today. You can have your legs wide or close together. Just finding your way. I'm going to stay seated for this, as I know for sure it will squish the microphone if I'm down there. I trust that you're getting settled. Remember, as we practice Yin Yoga, we're doing so with loving kindness towards our bodies. So what I mean by that is there's never ever any pain. Yin can definitely take us a little out of our comfort zone. But if you're feeling anything like pinching or burning, just you'll know, right? Just change your position. Come out, explore, be curious. And just a sense of your whole body, just surrendering down towards the earth. Just unwinding. Tuning into the flow of your breath as you rest here in child's pose. Just the simple awareness of breathing in and breathing out is all it takes to really drop in and stay in the moment. Now, if you've chosen a head turned to one side position, You can turn it the other way. We're halfway through our hold. Of course, please honor your body this whole hour. If you want to come out before I signal, that is what you should do. Milo agrees. Do you agree? So one of the greatest benefits of being present, of practicing being in the moment, is that it helps build a deeper relationship with ourselves. So when we're more present, we can start to notice if we're going off the rails, so to speak. If we are reacting or about to maybe say something that isn't beneficial. It helps us just to have more clarity. And when we're in that state, our nervous systems stay regulated. So we're going to be in child's pose for another minute. I'm just going to go silent here for the next little bit of time. Now, before you start to come out of the pose, take another one of those long, slow, deep breaths. And really see if you can ground down through your hands. Like, just take some time to really feel the palms, the fingers, and how essentially, through it all, you're grounding down to the earth, giving and receiving. And then once you feel ready, go ahead and just bring yourself a little more out of the pose. Stretch out your legs. Maybe some cat and cows. Lovely. Let's do a pose where the legs are a little more stretched out. So we will take straddle. This is a seated wide leg forward fold. There's no expectation as to how far forward you should be going. So if you've practiced with me, you know I like sitting up on height. So this is just a folded blanket that gives me a little height that's bringing my hips above my knees. Even though I'm really flexible, this is still really beneficial because it gets my pelvis in the position to lean forward. Okay. And then once you're up on it, kind of slide off and feel that angle that happens. The intention with this pose is primarily the inner thighs. So if you're sitting upright and you're feeling a stretch here, just stay and really practice listening to your body as to when you should move a little bit more. So now I'm not really feeling very much, so I think I might explore coming forward. Everyone, of course, will experience this differently. I think that using something to lean into can be nice. Something out front to lay on in case you're going down a little farther. So if this is bothersome to your knees, one of the best things I think you can do is put something underneath. And if you don't have blocks, just put pillows or roll up some blankets. You can also just put your feet on the floor like this and feel that. So Yin Yoga is all about creating sensations in different areas of the body to affect change in the tissues. And we're talking the connective tissues. They don't really stretch, so they need time. So I'm going to set the timer for us, and we're going to stay here a couple more minutes. Just finding your way to experience this. Remember, it's not about how far forward you can come. It's about how much sensation you can feel in the inner thighs. And this is where we get another opportunity to cultivate presence. And really embodying this idea of being a human being. Like we're being here now. We're not doing, we're just being. Slowing down so much that we can listen to our inner voices. And so in this way, Yin Yoga is so much more than just a physical practice. This is an energetic, a mental, emotional, a spiritual practice. And it's not like you even really have to focus on that. Like we don't have to focus on our energy, like, okay, let's balance the energy in our tissues in the inner thighs, lower back, shoulder. It's like, no, just with this stillness and this prolonged way of being in a shape, that does the work. I'm thinking of the analogy of we don't have, Milo's really active today. We don't have to open the car hood and make sure everything's working properly as we're driving down the road. We just trust that our vehicle's engine is calibrated and set up and is going to take us down the road. So we can trust that our trillions of intelligent cells know exactly what to do. Okay, we're just going to stay a little longer and I'm going to go quiet. Let's take another deep breath together. Take your time coming out of the pose and see if you can really continue to stay connected to the sensations in the inner thighs. Nice and slow. Leaning back, maybe walking your legs a little closer together. Shaking them out can be nice. And then of course, the one I like best after this is in windshield wipers. Welcome to those who have recently joined. All right. Next up, we are going to do swan and sleeping swan. Have you ever heard of pigeon pose being called swan? That's what we call it in Yin Yoga. So have your props available, whatever you have, because it can be really nice. So what you're going to do is come to all four or downward dog. Take your right knee up towards your right wrist, kick your leg in, use your back foot to sink your body down. I think I'm going to do a different angle. Okay, so this. Now, if you have a lot of space under your right glutes, maybe put something underneath there. And so we're going to stay upright like this for the first minute, and then I'm going to invite you to come down. Maybe you would land on a bolster or a bolster block setup. So I'm going to start the timer now that you've gotten settled. I'm going to try to do it so I'm a little more facing you. All right, so this one, I bet you could tell me, you don't have to, but you could tell me where we're targeting. The right glutes, thigh, and then when we're upright like this, we're working with the hip flexors. Stay upright for about 30 more seconds. Anybody else's hips feel pretty tight? Mine do with all the traveling I've done. Maybe you've traveled too. Maybe you went out last night dancing. All right. So if you want to relax down into it a little more, hanging out on a prop, I want to give some alternatives though, because this isn't always best for everyone's knee. So if this is hurting your knee, what I suggest is just rolling over onto your hip a little more, bringing your back leg in, kicking your leg out, and then coming forward. So the knee's more open. If that still isn't helping, you can also do this one on your back as a reclined figure four. Still gives you a really nice stretch. Yay. So I like to think of this one as an opportunity to really just sink down, just feeling the core of your body, resting down to the earth. I'm just taking some long, slow, deep breaths. Many of us carry so much tension in this part of the body. No doubt, these are really, really big muscles. And we're all walking every day, exercising probably. It's just really normal to get a little tense here. And then there's schools of thought that talk about how this is an area where emotions are stored in the body. I think I mentioned a few lives ago that I've heard the hips being called the junk drawer of the emotional body. So let's just take a minute of me not talking and us just really diving inward, okay? Long, slow, deep breath in. Once again, just grounding down through the palms and then helping yourself a little more upright. You might just lean into that right hip and start some windshield wipers. You could also do a downward dog, another child's pose. Anything goes. And the more that we can practice listening, quieting, moving inward, the better. Ready for the other side? Whenever you are, go ahead and get set up. All right, here we are. Ooh, my hip feels really tight. Okay, so we're going to stay upright, remember, for the first minute. I mean, obviously, you can do whatever you want, but... Oh, Milo just really missed the live events, I think. He's being so cute and cuddly today. Just allowing the body to open all on its own. We never get... What was I going to say? I don't know. I got distracted. Yeah, Milo's being really cute today. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell us to come down. So now we're going to go down lower. So however you want to be. It's almost like Milo is looking at the chats. Are you helping me keep time? All right, let's really focus on the sensations happening. Just noting, like, what is the intensity of sensation if you were to categorize what you're feeling 1 to 10? I'd say mine's at an 8, but I'm not feeling any pain. And I'm just going to try to breathe And it's so cool because our intention into the body, with the body, is so powerful. I can imagine my breath flowing into my hip. And with each exhale, just this opportunity to let go and soften. Feeling grounded. Just unwinding. Letting go. And as I was saying before, it's not like we even have to be specific. But we could have the general intention of letting go of what no longer serves us. Letting go of any stressors from the past weeks. Moving into the next hours and days with more openness and clarity. Okay, I'm going to give us about 30 seconds here of just me not talking. All right, again, I'm feeling like just placing my palms on the floor, feeling my connection to the earth. Maybe you'd like to join. Pressing away into a different shape, maybe adding some new movement. Crack. So what this practice really aims to do is to give time to the connective tissues in the body to just help them change and expand. And I'm saying it like that because our tendons, our ligaments, our fascia, it doesn't stretch. It just, another way I could say it is it deforms. And then when we come away from the pose, our tissues reform. And within that reforming, a cascade of happenings occurred. Our body produced more hyaluronic acid, for example. That is one of the building blocks of collagen. And that helps our tissues become more pliable. It helps our tissues stay healthy and become healthier, healing. All right, so that's one of the great things. Let us do, let's do Sphinx pose. So in case you don't know what I'm talking about, Sphinx pose, it's just laying on your back like this. I'm going to actually get a little more to the side. Sorry, Milo. So I like to be up on a little height. So the point of this one is to feel a little squeeze in your lower back. So I'm up this high, but on your back, that might feel terrible. So you can come down a little farther and do something like this. Some people in my classes even come all the way down, and they're still feeling that little squeeze in their lower back. sure it does not work well with this microphone. You can also let your head hang down. You don't have to have your head upright. You can let it hang down or even rest on a block. Denny, okay, I'm going to answer your question. Denny says, does it only heal like that in the area that's stretched? So when I was just talking about how our connective tissues are affected in Yin Yoga. Okay. It really works on the area that we were just targeting. So we're really focusing on the lumbar spine in this pose. Maybe even a little bit of hip flexors. But the cool thing is that our fascial network is a web-like structure that is everywhere in our whole body. So by virtue of that, yes, this area is also affecting all the way up my spine, all the way down our legs, because everything is connected. But the majority of the goodness, so to speak, I'm trying to talk in like plain English, the goodness of what's happening inside of our bodies with our tissues is, yes, primarily going to be in that spot. So I hope that answered your question. Well, we should just do frog today. We already did, so the straddle pose that we were targeting the inner thighs, that's basically, so in Yin Yoga we could think of like all these poses are archetypes. So there's several poses that kind of get the same area. So we could think of doing that straddle pose was maybe a warm-up for a frog. But I'll also put it in our class. That we'll do in the future if you want to give me a message. Okay, so as you feel ready, we are going to exit the Sphinx pose. Maybe feel some cat and cows here. Hip sways or circles, a downward dog, a child's pose. I changed my mind about doing frog. We're going to do a reclined twist. Spinal twist is going to be beneficial for us. I like to have my head on something during a spinal twist, but nothing too high. So sometimes I'll see people with like their heads on bolsters during a spinal twist. That's too high. Try to have your spine in alignment. Right? Twists are great too. Okay, let's maybe stop talking and twist. So whatever way you want to twist, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my legs up and then I'm going to let my legs land on a bolster. the reason I'm putting my legs on a bolster is if I don't, then my left shoulder doesn't touch the ground. And I want to be able to completely relax my left shoulder and arm and hand on the floor. I'm turning towards the camera, but if you can, turn your head the other way. Some folks enjoy like holding their hand down. You can always put some weight here. You can put something between, like a bolster or a blanket or even a block. So the whole thing is like, if we can be relaxed and supported, then our muscles soften, and this is where we really gain the benefit of what we're doing to our connective tissues. The muscles are so much bigger and pumping blood, and so they tend to take up the stress or the stretch. So when we try to just keep our bodies supported, relaxed, quiet, that's when the magic really happens. Be here a couple more minutes. I'm just going to give us a little quiet time. I feel like I've been talking a lot during this session. Staying with your smooth, steady, even breathing. Take your time to roll out of your twist, perhaps rocking from side to side on your lower back, or feeling some more of those yummy windshield wipers. And then when you feel ready after all of that, we'll do the other side. Yin is also a nice natural form of chiropractic. I'm saying that because as I rolled into this twist, I just heard my back go crack, crack, crack. Tuning into the exhales. The exhales, a vehicle for letting go, release. And as many of you, I'm sure, have felt in your own bodies and mind, that any sort of yoga asana, so the yoga poses, it has a cumulative effect. So the more we practice, the more the body recognizes what we're doing and eases into the known benefits. Another way I could say that might be more concise, is that our muscles have memories, our tissues have memories of how this felt the last time. Our brains remember, our nervous system remembers, and this all contributes to our resilience. This contributes to our baseline being elevated. We're more likely to handle life outside of doing yoga in a more aligned and peaceful way. So we're going to be here about another 2 minutes. Go ahead and coming back to center with the head, with the legs. I love a happy baby after a twist. And finally, lastly, we'll do Shavasana. However you like to be set up. You might consider another little layer of blanket, or depending on where you're at. Our temperature probably has cooled down because of the slow nature of the yin practice. Shavasana might even take us into an even deeper, relaxed state. Closing down your eyes or covering your eyes. I'm going to put my hands on my abdomen and just let the rhythm of breath carry you deep within. We'll be here for several minutes. Returning now to your breath. Start to guide yourself to take a few deeper breaths. Returning to the beginning of our practice, and just bringing back to mind that kind word or intentional phrase or word. And if you weren't here in the beginning, you can just bring to mind something like that now. Just repeating in your mind this intention or kind affirmation towards yourself. Wiggling around your toes and your fingers. And of course, since this is a virtual class, you're more than welcome to just stay in Shavasana and turn off the live. Stretching your arms, your legs. Just hopefully feeling a sense of renewal, of balance. I hope you feel centered and grounded after this practice. If you'd like to join in a closing greeting, please do. If it feels authentic to you to bring your palms together, this is Anjali Mudra. This is a mudra, hand gesture of reverence. And we'll use it with the intention of first and foremost bowing to ourselves, bowing to our inner light, to our source consciousness. And bowing to each other energetically and adding in the greeting of Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much. This has been just such a lovely, lovely practice.